Hello, everyone. I'm Nancy McCarthy, City Councilor for Cannon Beach, and Lisa Kerr is with me, also City Councilor for Cannon Beach. And this is, if you don't know by now, this is Coffee with the Councilors. I was trying to figure out how long we have been doing this, and Jan would probably know exactly how long it's been since she's
very long.
Yeah, it's been at least 5 years.
Yeah.
So I know that it started when Robin Risley was first elected, and she started it about a month or so after she was elected. So I think it's been since about February, maybe, of 2019. So it's been a long time, and we have some new people here. So let's get started. I'm going to go through the audience today. And then I will go through the people on Zoom, ask them what they want to talk about, and then we'll come back and talk about it. But let me introduce, first of all, our new police chief, Rob Schultz.
Hello, everyone.
Yay.
Yay. There's a few faces out there.
I won't try to run into you next time.
And Jason, of course, our current police chief. He will be with us, and I think next month is his last Coffee with the Councilors with us, so we'll have to do something special. And of course, we have Bruce with us, our city manager. Trevor is with us to operate the Zoom camera, and Karen Labonte is on Zoom. So we are well covered in case you have any questions of any of them. So let's get started. Rex, what would you like to talk about today?
Trevor and real lights
Okay.
and let's see, maybe blowers, leaf blowers.
Leaf blowers.
Yes,
And
my God,
talk about what?
leaf blowers.
What? Leaf blowers. Leaf blowers. Oh, blowers.
And anything else that might wander into my senile brain.
Oh, boy. And Diane, what would you like to talk about?
I'm here with him. I'm back up.
You're his brave.
Shotgun.
I don't know you. What is your name?
Sandra James. I've owned a home here for 53 years.
Wow.
Never been to a meeting.
Oh.
Anytime.
Oh, well, welcome.
I dragged her today.
Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
I didn't know I was gonna come. There has been things, but no.
Okay, well, a lot of people just come to listen, and if you have anything you'd like to say, just feel free to raise your hand and we'll talk about it. Lois, hi.
Hi, good morning. Just have a couple questions about, the infamous wall.
Uh-huh. I don't see Dan here today, so I don't know. We'll be able to.
One of the other counselors, or maybe Karen could answer.
Okay, all right. And I don't know your name.
My name is Brian. I'm just here to observe and see what these are like.
Okay. All right. Jan, what would you like to talk about today?
Okay, so bridge update, if there is one. The sign at the Whale Park, I'd like to give a little update there.
Okay.
Also the wall on Fifth, and then the water resiliency project. I'm gonna save that one. I have one more question, and I'm gonna save that for the Public Works meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
But if people are interested, yeah, for tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Ginny, do you have anything you'd like to talk about today?
Not really. I'm sorry Les and Lynn aren't there because I wanted to say how great the post office gardening looks. I know Lynn does such a effort from her heart, and it makes a difference to all of us when we go check our mail.
Yeah, looks good. Betty, what would you like to talk about today?
I have two little things I just want to make an announcement later on at the end of the meeting about the Forest Preservers Work Party.
Okay.
And I also wanted to ask some questions about yards that seem abandoned. And anyway, I just wanted overgrown yards. So I just have two questions and one question and an announcement.
And Betsy, welcome. Got it figured out.
Well, kind of. Anyway, yeah, I'm not at home, so I'm glad I could figure out how to do it on my iPhone. But anyway, I don't really, it's a conundrum, and it has to do with jaywalking and my fear of running somebody over in Cannon Beach, because it's summer now and people are just popping out from between parked cars, and they don't look even to see if there's anybody. I don't know. There's nothing anyone can probably do about this, but I'm alarmed by it. And I don't know if anybody has anything that they can say about that. But that's kind of my thing
Okay.
today.
All right, Rex, we get to start with you. You wanted to talk about Trevor?
Yeah, well, no matter, but leaf blowers, I wish we put a governor or just get rid of gas leaf blowers, maybe electric leaf blowers. They're much quieter. And who the hell needs a leaf blower anyway? What are they blowing this stuff? It's Bob Dylan did mean that blowing in the wind. So,
I agree with you, although I have a neighbor who sneaks over to my house and blows all the leaves off my driveway, and I can never catch him at it, so I look out and my driveway is all cleaned up. But yeah, no, I agree with you.
I do too. I think there should be a statewide ban. They stink too. They smell so bad
they're unhealthy for the person using them.
and they're so loud. I mean, that people wear those earmuff
Yeah.
things, but noise blockers. But it's really dumb. What happened to a rake?
I
know.
Well, and exercise,
Yeah,
to me.
a rake. That's what you use. My little grandson, his mom bought him a pretend leaf blower that makes a lot of noise and he runs around the house.
Oh, God.
I saw that. I went, oh no.
The landscape companies use leaf blowers because it saves them a ton of time. That's why they use
Yeah,
them.
it disrupts.
Now,
the
whether they
neighborhood.
need to be gas or electric, I don't know. They'd have to have multiple batteries backup for
Well,
their day's work
so-
probably, but they could do that instead. But it would take them so much longer to rake leaves on properties that they're caring for.
Well, let them use electric then and get the batteries. There's a neon sign at Pie Girl, Pie Boy that stays on when it's open. It's off when it's closed, so. I think,
Neon signs are not allowed
No.
here.
oh, so somebody should tell them to take that down.
Where's that at?
Pie Girl,
It's at 140,
It's right across, it's right up above the Mexican restaurant.
It's right above her all.
Yeah.
when you drive down, come up, you can see it up high.
Yeah.
And I was coming off the beach some time ago and I thought I'd had a new pair of glasses. Everything was so bright in Les Shirley Park, and it was that they'd restriped everything, the handicap zone, and then got in the car, drove downtown. Everything was striped so beautifully. And I saw Trevor one day and said, what had happened? He said, well, in 3 nights, this company had striped the whole city. And
Boy.
They didn't stripe all the parking at Les Shirley. They striped just the handicapped areas,
Yeah.
yeah. But all the parking there needs to
And
be
they
striped. People
painted
park
the
every which
streets, took
way.
out the graffiti, all that. They did a wonderful, and this all has to be done at night, he said. So,
Yeah,
and I don't know, the company was, I think, Clean Sweep Maintenance, is that it?
Did they do, was it Clean Sweep that did it? Or they do everything, don't they?
He explained that if anything, but it was a great job, and I think Public Works did it again. Great job.
Right.
good.
And I did read something in Facebook about somebody got woken up
Well,
by the noise.
you're gonna get it done, and as you pointed out, you gotta have the right weather. And to keep people driving through when it's wet.
Yeah.
Anyway, Trevor, thank you.
Thank you, Rex.
All right, Diane, anything to add to that?
You did a good job.
All right,
Yeah, I do have a concern.
sure.
Is there anything being done about the rabbits and the elk?
Well,
They were here first, Sandra. Sounds like
I'm
it.
gonna die going through my yard, like holes or something.
Yeah. I've been working on an experiment with elk resistant plants and elk resistant spray. But we haven't had any elk in our neighborhood lately, except yesterday, a couple of elk were behind my backyard and they would have had to go through a lot of bushes and trees to get to my plants, which they've done before. And so I was out there spraying like crazy while I was looking at the elk antlers kind of going like this in the backyard. So I can't tell you whether it works or not yet.
Well, according to one of our really great landscapers in town, it does work. She's the one who gave me the name of it and I have it too.
Yeah.
I haven't had to
What's the
spray it.
name of it, if you don't
I think
share?
is it Deer Away?
Mine is can't remember. It's a deer repellent.
Right.
There's one called Plant Skid also.
Let's get, I've used,
This is non-poisonous. Yeah, this is non-poisonous. It does not hurt the environment.
Right.
One that she uses. It's Leslie McClanahan.
Uh-huh.
And she said it works really, really well. And I think it's got like peppermint in it and a bunch of stuff that
Mine has rotten eggs.
they
and-
don't like. Yeah,
And some other.
yeah.
But it's all natural.
But I,
remember the,
I'll bring I'll take a picture of it. I sent a picture of it to someone and I could find it if I could remember who I sent it to. But I'll take another picture of it and bring it next time.
Since there are several, at least several products, I wonder if you could post on the website or something, the name of it.
Potential.
Leslie's, yeah, she says it really works. So I'll take a picture and send it to, I guess, to you guys.
It's also their elk and deer having their babies right now, they're
Yeah.
young, so that may be why we're not seeing them as much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they were.
but we will see them. So, yeah.
We just need
Hey,
to
to tell you the truth, they don't come in my yard till fall and by then everything isn't blooming anymore.
Yeah.
So I just figure, okay, they're pruning, you know. I mean,
Mine sometimes come around the 4th of July, sometimes on the day of the 4th of
Really?
July, yeah. I don't know what it is.
Well, they were in my yard last week, according to the neighbors, and they ate my tree, my apple tree.
Oh,
Yeah, there's not much we can do about.
but that's why the
Yeah.
spray works because it's not poisonous. So you can still eat your apples or,
Yeah.
you know.
Be sure and wash them first. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As far as rabbits go, it is against the law to feed wildlife. And so, but that we don't really, Jason, with anything that has been done about the rabbits.
There's been a lot of hawks out lately and a lot of predators. So I think that in general, it sort of works out. They're having babies now, so you have more, but then the natural predators pretty much take care of them.
Funny.
There's a group that's come in and has been transporting them away. If people can have them, there's a group that takes them and relocates them where people can adopt them.
And that's a local group here, right?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure how to get in touch with them.
I don't remember they have a website.
I think there was an article in the paper, maybe.
I think Deb did an article.
Well, you can send them to our yard. My husband loves them.
just remember, if it's in your yard, you can trap it and do whatever you want.
No, we don't trap.
Well, I can't.
They are good.
Good for looking at.
So Lois, you wanted to talk about the wall?
yes, I'm aware, Daniel had said last meeting that the owners apparently have been informed that it's out of compliance. And they've been given until July 15th to bring it into compliance. I'm wondering, since I have seen no activity whatsoever, was kind of hoping that maybe they would tackle it before the tourist season. Because it's gonna cause traffic issues on Fifth Street. But nothing's happening, so I'm wondering what is the response if they just ignore it?
I don't know, Jason, can you speak to that?
At that point, though, as far as we've had things in the past, usually they start receiving citations. For say that they're out of compliance, but not having looked at that recently, I'll have to see what but yeah, it would be working with the planning department and issuing citations.
Citations that mean what?
But it's like a traffic citation, you go in front of a judge
Fine.
and or you pay a fine.
I read somewhere in the city code, there are fines up to $1,000 a day
I don't know.
for
what they-
certain violations, but I couldn't ascertain whether that applied to this situation or not.
Is Dan on vacation?
He's sick today.
Oh, okay. A lot of people have been
Yeah.
going around City Hall, but so, yeah, we'll.
Yeah, they don't have to do anything until the 90 days is up. We can't make them start early or anything.
No,
like
no,
that.
of course not. And I'm just speculating.
I drive by there all the time. I notice there's
Yeah,
no
there's nothing.
activity whatsoever.
Out the other day.
So,
Yeah. And like I said, I think if they were to start it sometime in early July, in order to get it completed by the date, it's just gonna be a traffic.
I don't think it has to be completed by the date though, does it? It just has to be started by the date. probably.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Started or completed by?
I don't know, not having.
My understanding from Daniel was completed by.
Like I said, I don't.
Anyway, whatever.
okay.
I
well,
was just kind of wondering if I was reading the right information. That the fine was $1,000 a day.
For anything or for that?
Well, that's what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
It varies
I
based
think-
on what it is.
I've got to say,
It varies based on what it is. I highly doubt that's $1,000 a day.
that part of the code is really ambiguous, I think. Nobody knows where things get appealed to. Like, we just saw a short-term rental appeal to the council, but I've also seen them appeal to the municipal court here. So I can't figure out how that works. And I think when we do our code rewrite, which we're in the process of now, that's going to have to be made much clearer what things are appealed, what the fines were for particular infractions. Otherwise, it's always so
It
confused.
shouldn't be so random.
Right.
And the fine needs to be substantial enough to
Deter.
deter noncompliance, right? Otherwise, if the fine is, $5 a day, it would cost them more to comply than to just pay the fine forever. So
Right.
it seems to me like it needs to be something that would be an incentive to actually comply with the code. So what is the ultimate goal of having these codes? Would seem to me the ultimate goal is compliance.
Mhm.
So,
They're in the middle of doing a code audit to
Yeah, we are.
clear it up.
It's got to be cleared up. It's just, right now, I think it's just very ambiguous.
it is, and the fines can range,
Yeah. And who's making
all
that
different
decision
places, yeah.
and why are they making that decision?
We had-
And yeah,
one fine for something that was it $1 million or some god awful?
it's
Yeah,
it's
it's like
insane.
crazy.
Yeah, it's not working.
Yeah,
But-
so, yeah.
But
is there an anticipated deadline for having the code rewritten?
oh my goodness.
Goal?
Well, as soon as
2 years?
possible, but no, we're working on it now. I mean, we have the first thing we had to do is reorganize it because you couldn't ever find anything
Yeah,
because it was all,
that is a
cattywampus.
problem.
Right. So that has happened and that has passed, that it's reorganized. So things but we haven't done substantive changes yet. Right now, we're working on a housing part of the code about housing, about single-family duplexes, ADUs, multiple housing units, all those things. That's happening now.
We just
And-
passed the wetland ordinance.
The wetlands ordinance went through, and that's part of the code now. So it's just, it's taking a long time, but I will,
When did these codes last
oh,
looked at?
geez.
1979?
Is that one?
Oh, maybe it's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we're having a housing meeting with the woman who is sort of overseeing our code rewrite, Herbworks, Marcy from Herbs Works, and I'll ask her that. I'll ask her about that specifically on, I think it's Wednesday, about when she anticipates us working through the appeal process, the fines, that kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Because I agree with you. It's hard to figure out. And It's very amorphous. Yeah.
Brian, have you thought of anything you want to ask?
No, I just wanted to see the general format, and I was gonna come chat with the local PD anyway, so I figured
Okay.
I'd come down to the meeting.
Okay, great. Okay, and Ginny, Lynn is
Jan.
on the line. Oh, Jan, I'm sorry. Never mind. We'll get to you in a minute. Jan, I'm sorry.
So I gave you a few. The first one was the bridge update, if there is anything since last
Is
month.
Karen still on? Bruce, do you have a bridge update?
I don't, I would have gotten it from Karen. So
Karen is on.
Any updates this last month?
Okay.
Sorry, I'm multitasking. There is not a new bridge update since the update they provided to us last month in the Public Works meeting. And our Public Works meeting is tomorrow. So if I get an update, I will provide that to this forum on your next.
Okay, and then the sign at the whale park, we do have 3 new locations. I'm hoping to meet with Bruce and the other people this week, if possible, and hopefully move it a little bit forward. So it's kind of exciting.
Okay,
And then I guess, yeah, that's all I have for now.
all right. Okay. Now, Ginny, Lynn is on the line. So you want to talk to compliment her?
Lynn, I wanted to say the library landscaping looks great. And I know that it's a labor of love and your own personal pocketbook. And I just wanted to say thank you. We all really appreciate it when we go check our mail.
You mean the post office
Oh,
landscaping?
post office,
Yeah.
post office. Sorry.
Yeah. So
Can
there
y'all
you
hear-
go.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think thank you is what I'm supposed to say. Yeah, thank you. I get you're welcome wrong. I do have help. Lisa helped me out this weekend pulling blackberries.
It's actually Bruce. Bruce
Oh, it's
ran
Bruce.
right down to the post office and yanked them up by the roots with his big gloves. Yeah.
And, so I appreciate it. I think it makes a difference to people, and that makes me happy. But I'm jumping in out of line. I have 4th of July signs. They're free this year, 2 per household. Call me, text me, or see me at the farmer's market. They're the little pretty ones with puffins on them. And there will
And
be
are
one
they-
at Well Park, Jan.
Are they the same ones that we've had before?
Yep, identical.
Okay.
What do they say?
And do they cost?
Nope, they're free this time.
Oh, okay. Wow.
no fireworks.
No
On one
fireworks.
side, they say no fireworks, on the other side, they said, please don't litter.
And they're temporary, which is a different thing than a.
So can we put them in the right of way?
We have a committee that puts them out for the 5 or 6 days around 4th of July. Then they have to come in. You can have the small signs, a limit of 2 in your yard all year round if you want to.
Okay.
Mine is on the don't put litter side because I like the puffin.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, Betty, you had something you want to talk about abandoned yards?
Yes, well, I just thought of another, so our neighbors next door, they don't really live here. They come and they don't rent their house. And when I got back from Hawaii a month ago, their yard was very overgrown, and it still is. And the thing about that is weed seeds blow in the wind, and so everything is blowing through the neighborhood. So I just wondered if there's any ordinance or any way to, is that okay to have people just leave their yards, or is there some kind of?
Betty, you can go online and file a code complaint.
Okay.
Enter the address on there and Daniel can follow up on it. It is the season where this happens. Things start to get overgrown, and we'll send them a letter. And they're given, I think, 30 days to comply. And if they don't, then I think Public Works gets involved and they go and trim it down if it's out of compliance. And then they bill the owner.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
glad you said bill the owner, because I was thinking, wow, that'd be a great way to get your yard trimmed.
Don't want us to trim your yard.
They don't do a good job.
I just didn't know if it was something that was okay for us to do, or is it something frowned on? And I guess it's not okay for them to just let that happen.
Well, it's a
No.
fire hazard too, so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. One other thing, there's a house on the end of Taft by the ocean. And that's the house that wanted to cut down the beautiful tree, pay to get it cut down. But anyway, they have put gravel all the way up to their yard, and it looks like they're going to be parking cars, 3 or 4 cars in front of their house. There's no attempt to do any landscaping, it doesn't seem. Is that part of our understanding that that's okay, just to have no front? Isn't there some kind of green front?
Yeah, we have, our planning code talks about hardscape versus landscape, I guess you could say. And I would think gravel would be hardscape, and there's a limit to how much you can do that according to our code. And I don't have the figures in front of me, obviously, but there is a ratio. And you might talk to Robert or Steve about that.
Okay.
Is the house a rental house at all? Is it a short-term rental?
It's still being built, but
Oh, it's still, it's that, is that a big one?
They have just used up every single bit of space.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
There is no
There
place.
is no, there's no landscape.
There's no landscape at all, because there's no place for it.
I know.
The house-
It looks like a parking lot, and there's a beautiful tree next to it that now the gravel is, cars are driving right by that tree now, right on that area. So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, you might talk to Steve and Robert about that.
Okay.
Find out what the plans are there.
Okay.
Yeah.
One other announcement: on this Saturday, we're going to be, our forest preserver work party group is going to be meeting at the north end of Hemlock and 6th Street. And we're going to be taking out blackberry, ivy, morning glory, whatever we see that is invasive, we're going to be taking that out. So everybody's welcome to visit us, and appreciate all help we can get.
Where is it again, and when?
Okay, it's Saturday, 10 to noon, and it's at farthest north end of Hemlock. It's kind of like the end of Hemlock in 6th Street. So we'll be meeting there and working on that area.
That's right by Jan's house, right?
It's pretty close to Jan's house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Few houses down.
Okay.
You can sit.
North side there.
I know.
I'll show you.
Okay.
Okay, good. Betsy, you wanted to talk about jaywalking?
I don't know if I want to talk about it. I just wanted to express my frustration that people, I mean, I feel like yelling out my window, please teach your children to use the crosswalk. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This phone's a little weird here, but anyway, I don't yell out the window, even though I'm tempted to, but I don't know that there's anything anyone can do about this, short of putting up signs, and none of us want to have more signs trying to get people to do basic common sense things. But anyway, it's just my gripe today.
Well, you could yell out your window.
What do you suggest that I yell?
Not doing it that means.
You can honk at them.
I have nothing more to
No,
say.
God, yeah, that would be really add to the general cacophony of the leaf blowers. Have a bunch of people honking.
No, I appreciate you bringing it up. Again, it's the season, and the bike aids try to remind people to use the sidewalks, and there are plenty of crosswalks in the area, but it's just a mass free-for-all a lot of times, especially on the weekends, but we do the best.
Are they subject to fines at all?
Yeah, but I mean, it is in the municipal code, but jaywalking anymore really isn't a violation.
Even in Portland, it's not.
No, nowhere. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's kind of like this.
where it would be more so here.
Jaywalking's cool.
There is for blocking traffic or obstructing traffic, and to a certain degree, you can even charge them with disorderly conduct for upholding traffic, that type of thing, but yeah.
Well, that's when they open their doors and you're coming down, butts out, they sit there for
Yeah.
5 minutes, you're saying, well, what are you gonna shoot?
Or
Get out, get
they're parked right in front of a place that you can park
Rex,
and they have their door and you
that's
can't
what a
get in
little
because-
toot on the horn is for.
Oh, this is the season of complaining about tourists.
A couple of comments, I guess, on related issues. I have seen people going down Hemlock Street at what I think is maybe an unreasonable speed.
Mhm.
And I think that contributes to some of the safety issues.
Mhm.
Oh,
What are
yeah.
the chances of lowering, number one, lowering the speed on Hemlock Street to, I don't know, 15 or 20?
It is 20.
It is 20.
It is 20
And then
downtown.
they go 30, so maybe
Right.
you should do it 15 and they'll go 25. I don't know.
So,
But people do go a little faster. And there's a four-way stop at Second and Spruce, but not at Second and Hemlock.
Right, we know
It
that.
seems to me that, I mean, I've sat there for several minutes waiting for people to cross one way or the other, and you can't move forward, and then the traffic backs up behind you, and then the horns start honking,
yeah.
because they don't realize you're waiting for pedestrians. If that were made a four-way stop at Second and Hemlock, and what would the next one be, Third?
Yeah,
Yeah, this has all been studied. We have a
Right.
transportation system plan and the four-way stop is one of the things that it's recommended at the second.
right, and we haven't.
And the other one, well,
Talked
the
about
other
it.
further to the south isn't quite as bad, but if people could get used to the flow of pedestrians and traffic working itself out, that would help, I think, with the fear that we have of, because I share Betsy's concern.
Mhm. Yeah.
I
There's all these
agree.
people crossing in the middle of the street.
Yeah, and you don't want to wait. Oftentimes, things don't happen till something terrible happens, and I
That's right.
don't
We
want to
wanna
wait for that.
long.
No.
Yeah.
So that all has been studied and we have a transportation system plan. That's one of the recommendations.
It is.
I'm not sure exactly where we are.
That's to have it.
We have any plans to look at that and start working on some of those projects?
We can bring it forward again, but the TSP or the Transportation System Plan is essentially a series of options looking forward that if we've got things that if the situation becomes untenable, we have a plan for putting in the four-way stops or whatever. It's not necessarily we're going to go ahead and do all of those things, we'll do one or two a year.
Well, could we bring the idea of four-way stops? Because I remember at the council, we talked about it quite a bit, and it seemed like people thought it was a good idea.
We can bring it forward to
Yeah.
a workshop.
Because we had, price tags associated with it and, all kinds of things. We had a lot of information. But we sort of, too many other things ended up taking our time and we kind of let it fall by the wayside. I think it'd be a good idea to correct it.
To remember also, there was some reason why people thought it wasn't maybe a perfect idea, so I can't remember what it was.
Afraid of backup,
Traffic.
backing up,
Partly something,
but it backs up anyway. So
I don't remember what it was, but
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
back of the traffic.
it
petered out.
on the,
I think it's
Yeah.
one of those, if you do this, then you need to do this, then
Yeah.
you need to do that, then you need to do that. And I think,
complicates.
yeah.
I think we need to look at it again. I do.
I mean, the main thing is if you're gonna have to drive downtown,
Well, you don't.
please go slowly, but if you don't have to drive downtown in July and August, please don't walk. or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Or park your car further away and then walk partly, just, yeah, we just need to really do that.
Yeah. What, as far as people speeding down Hemlock, you do ticket people. I've seen the, reports on that. So you do ticket people when you see that, right?
No, and we put our trailer in different areas of town where we get speed complaints just to kind of find a pattern and see. The good news is we have a new one coming that's inconspicuous, so people can't see it, so they don't automatically slow down when they see it. So That way we can get true reading on how fast people are actually going. And we can start putting that in places, because you have to do a whole study on an area before you just reduce the speed limit. And the reason that they all came up years ago, the speed limits, was because the state put out a thing in all residential areas. But yeah, the speed limit there is 20 already. And Lauren, it sometimes can be hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Although in summer, it's kind of lowered anyway.
You'll have a choice.
2 or 3 miles an hour.
I have seen a lot officers giving tickets. I would drive by and go, yes.
I have another thought. I've seen the folks on bicycles. I don't know what their official. title
Information
is.
aids.
Information aid.
Yeah.
Would it be possible to station 2 or 3 of those along Hemlock Street on the weekends and just pass out little reminders to people to use the crosswalks? And not cross in the middle of the
Or
street?
to verbally tell them.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Otherwise, you're gonna have a lot of litter.
Yeah.
You will, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
fine, just tell them, but you utilize that resource in some way to remind people to use the crosswalks.
Yeah.
It's dangerous to cross
Yeah,
to jaywalk.
yeah,
And hope that they're pleasant in response.
yeah.
Exactly.
Station them in the middle of the block where they could remind people.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question for you, Jason.
Yep.
What do you do about a second homeowner who comes in only on the weekends and is about 30 feet from your house and turns up his radio or stereo or whatever it is, his music instrument, and then sits outside with his friends and shouts at the top of his lungs and plays that music as high as it can go, so that you're literally forced out of your yard and back into your house where you can still hear the music? What do you do?
Call us. We can come out and we have ways that we can determine if it's outside the ordinance, if it's too loud, that type of thing. But have you talked to him at all?
I've sent him a letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that didn't have any effect.
Well, I haven't, I sent it this last week. It's just been going on for 3 or 4 weekends in a row,
Yeah.
and it's just getting crazy.
No, the first thing we always try to do is have them just comply, as a neighborly thing, try to work it out that way. And then if not, we'll go and try to talk to them, and then we'll move to finding out how many decibels it is and if it's outside of the ordinance. Go that direction. But yeah, call it in. There's no reason that you have to be pushed out of your own yard.
And call it at the non-emergency.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, I will.
Unless.
File a complaint online. Also,
What's that?
file a complaint online also.
Yeah. Yeah, I sent a letter and I tried to be as nice as I could, but I also suggested that maybe they wanted to check out their decibels and call Daniel, and gave him the non-emergency number just to check out, to see. I'm sure they won't, but,
Sure.
Of course not.
but I haven't gotten a reply yet. They live in Lake Oswego, so.
We have do we have an ordinance, I thought, in town that if some music is played outside, if it, there's some kind of ordinance in town about loud
Yeah.
music.
Yeah,
Yep, there is one.
Yeah, we
It
have an
seems like
ordinance.
that would carry over into the neighborhoods too.
yeah.
Well, that would be wonderful, because it is nice to have that downtown. Although seems like there's always violations, but usually it's pretty great. Quiet is nice. And I think people in their neighborhood should be able to sit out in their yards and not have to listen to other people's music or people shouting and drinking on their patios at night. My 2 cents worth.
Yeah.
That's,
Great.
yeah, it's becoming a real problem. I can see it once in a while happening, but this is beginning to happen every weekend. And then when they come in on Friday, they do that very same thing on Friday night, then they go out on their boat and then they come home. And I don't know if they're drunk when they come home or not, because I don't want to get near them. And then they start shouting and screaming and playing their music, and
I tried a civil approach and they threw a beer can at me with the F word. So
if it weren't,
I went back inside.
if it weren't for the trees and bushes between my back porch and his back porch, he'd be able to see me directly. And I don't think he even realizes I'm back there. So I sent them a letter and said, I'm 30 feet from your back porch and please shut up. Yeah, so, you know, we even have our own problems.
That's for sure.
All right.
I could get a really big speaker and bring it over there next Friday for you.
Hey, you know, I might be giving you a call.
We could have a
You end
party,
up being the one
Nancy.
with the citation.
Yeah, I did it for the citation and they go scot-free. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a real fun
We just
problem.
need to start partying. I'm gonna come over your house on Friday and party with you.
Well, I spent 2 years listening to them build their 1,600 square foot addition to their house. And so
Gosh.
now I'm listening to them party in that
Oh,
very
oh.
same house. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun for the last 3 years.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, anything else anybody wants to talk? Lynn, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about? Lynn's hand is up.
Yeah, there it is. I'm not good at this.
Okay.
Back to the post office for a moment. If y'all have noticed, we're having a lot of not vandalism, but I just think there's people being messy. They're breaking off the stones off of the wall, and I have not been able, and neither have the people that own it, been able to find a stonemason to come out and replace the stonework. So if anybody has a lead, please send me a text, give me a call. We'd like for it to look a little bit better, but there's nobody in town or in this area that responds.
You're
Well,
saying
have you
they're
tried
taking
the guy
this-
who works at Public Works, Ryan?
He has declined because he works for the city.
And then what about Derek? Is the guy he used to build walls with? Have you talked to
No,
him?
I don't know him. Do
Okay.
you
Well, he's my neighbor.
send me an email if you have his any kind of information. I'll try and track him down.
Well, I'd have to go through Ryan because even though Derek's a neighbor, I don't have any contact information for him, but they did such beautiful rock work all over town. So they have the skills for sure.
Right. Okay. Send me his name and I will chase it.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Lynn,
I'm going to be gluing them.
Are you saying that they're taking stone out of the wall at the post office?
Well, they sit on the edge and it breaks off.
Oh, okay.
And then the skateboarders have done some work on the lower pieces. And so we're just trying to keep the right in the front, where people do sit and gather, looking kind of nice, and it's not looking very good right now. And so that's what I'm trying to find somebody to help, and I've had zero luck. And so I will talk with Betty's lead and see what I can chase down with that. The last guy that did the work was out of town and the work didn't hold up. And so the people that own it are looking, but stonemasons are not around a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
You might also put a little note in next door Cannon Beach or next door, that website.
Oh, the barbecue. Oh, that's a good.
Well, there's the BBQ too, but there's also the next door, and then asking for a stonemason. I'm sure you'll find somebody on that.
Okay. Well, let's hope
Karen,
so.
you had something?
Yeah,
Karen?
I was just gonna say that is the challenge, is when you're trying to do a patchwork on a stone, when people sit on it, it does not stay. And this job is such a small job, it's hard to get our good stonemasons to have the time to come do something this small. So therein lies the challenge. Lynn, you've been doing a good job trying to screw someone up, and we've been trying to see who we could find, but that is the challenge that goes along with that.
Right. I need 10 stones put back. That isn't a big job.
Yeah. We'll send you another contact.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Super glue? Super glue?
Yeah, super glue.
Well, that's my next avenue. Is someone suggested Gorilla Glue would hold them in place.
It might.
But I'm not trying that just yet.
All right. Lynn, did you want to say anything about the 4th of July book sale at the library?
I can. The 4th of
Okay.
July book sale starts this year on July the 4th. And it's going to run the full weekend. We have a new bag sale. It's $8 a bag this year. And
that's on the last day of the sale, which
that's on
is
the
July
last day of the
7th.
sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 4th will be our first day. We'll be open, I think 8 to 4, 9 to 4, 10 to 4. I don't know the time.
10 to 5.
10 to 5.
10 to 5.
I just do the manual labor. You know? And so just pass by the library and come and spend some money. It keeps our doors open.
Lynn, I'd like 2 signs too.
Okay.
Okay, because
You
we
know
need to
what-
bring
you
them to our meeting on Wednesday, I think.
Okay. I'm just gonna stick them in my car and haul them around. I imagine y'all running
Okay.
lots of people that just want some.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm going to add to that, the library sale is from July 4th through July 7th. It's from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the 7th. The bag sale, where you get all the books you want that'll fit into a bag that the library supplies for $8. That is on the last day of the sale, July 7th. Diane?
I'd like to compliment the library on the beautiful new sign.
Isn't that nice?
It's exemplary
Yeah.
from every sign should be
Yeah.
that beautiful.
That was a donation by someone to the library, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he came in the other day and wanted to know where the plaque might be. And it's coming along, but yeah. So it was really, really very nice. Anything else that anybody wanted to talk about? Rob, would you like to talk and tell us what you have planned for us in your?
Well, I have nothing planned now. Jason has done a great job over the past 12 years with this department, and I don't see any changes happening. A lot of you folks are familiar with me. Lived here for 18 years, was on the department for a little over 12. My idea of leasing lines right with what the chief's views are. So there'll probably be some little tweaks here and there, but for the most part, everything's going to be remaining the same. My door is always open. Email me, call the department. I'm always available.
Great. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Really glad to see you here.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, we missed you. All right. I want to remind people that there are no fireworks allowed on the 4th of July or anytime in Cannon Beach. So, and we do have fines for that, and they're pretty steep fines. So remind everybody around you that there are no fireworks at all allowed in Cannon Beach. And also we have the farmer's market starting on Tuesday at noon.
Wow.
So it'll go from noon until 4. Hours have changed just a little bit. So noon until 4, beginning Tuesday, and I'll be right out here in the parking lot in front of the City Hall.
And I also want to tell people that there's 2 focus groups that are hard at work. One is the tree committee working on the rewrite of the tree code. We had a public meeting. There was a lot of input. We have taken that input to heart and are trying to incorporate as much as we can into our tree code without gutting the tree code. And we also have a dark sky focus group that has some commercial owners as well on it, which is really nice. I was so happy that happened. Some hotel owners, two of them out of the 7 people. So that's really great. And they're working really hard as well, trying to come up with, and so if you have any ideas or things that you'd like to see, make sure you reach out to, or to me, I guess would be the easiest way, because it's easy on the city website, and let me know
I just
your
hope you're
thoughts.
right about there'll be a flyer sent out to every person in the community, absentee owners, and
I don't know how, we don't know how that's gonna happen yet, but if you're out of
people will see it, and it goes to the.
Right.
there'll be a whole lot of people.
and then if you're out of compliance, and a lot of people will be out of compliance. I actually think my front porch light's out of compliance. I never use it. I never turn it on, so I don't really know. But there's gonna be a lot of people who are out of compliance with the fixture. And so we're gonna have to, but you'll get a good deal of time to come into compliance. And, you know, but you need to know that you need to. So that you're right. There has to be some really good way of letting people know, and especially second homeowners. A lot of them are out of compliance and they wouldn't have any way of knowing because they don't come to meetings. They don't, you know, so we have to, right, we have to have an adequate way of alerting people so that they can, you know, I mean, they can even come, you know, it'd be great if more people even tuned in on Zoom to the meetings where these code changes come before the public for public comment, but it seems to be, you know, the tree ordinance had a lot of people show up. All those who were mostly against having any, you know, changes. So and I know a lot of people in the community who are for changes, but they didn't show up at the last meeting. Nice to hear from everybody at these meetings. Even on Zoom, with Zoom now, it's so easy. You know, you don't have to get out of your pajamas. You can just sit there and turn off the camera and speak, you know.
Oh, speaking of camera, can I ask Jason?
Sure, whatever.
I had an interesting interaction with one of our officers, and when he approached the car, he introduced himself and he said, "I want you to know I have my body cam on." Do all of our officers have body cams now?
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a huge savings in a lot of ways, but yeah.
Good.
Hmm.
That saves a lot of conflict.
Oh, yeah, and even our court cases have gone down because it's hard to argue that you did something when it's all on camera.
Did he give you a ticket anyway, Rex?
He saw I was so old and just feeble, he said, "I'll let you
Love you.
go."
The old and feeble.
And I happened to be right across from Fresh Foods where all the gang were sitting in there watching.
Yeah.
Very embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't know you, obviously.
Sign or something.
I must have.
Betsy, you had something you wanted to say?
Oh, I just wanted to ask you, what's the cutoff for donating books to the library sale?
Oh, you can continue to do it as often and as long as you want. There's no cutoff.
Okay,
And-
thank you.
Yeah.
Paperbacks and hardbacks. and
Paperbacks,
everything.
hardbacks. The only thing that we don't accept are like encyclopedias or
Reference.
textbooks. We don't, and if the books are musty, we don't want that. But pretty much anything that you want to donate, we will take.
Even Catcher in the Rye?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't worry about banned books, whatever banned, you know, whatever's in vogue nowadays be banned. We don't worry about any of that. Yeah. So, yeah, whatever you'd like, as long as they're not musty, they're not textbooks. And, you know, encyclopedias that are pretty old, but you'd be surprised when we get there. And then we do have an old and rare book sale. So, you know, old
I
books
know,
are-
I missed that. I'm so
Yeah.
mad. I wanted a leather bound book.
Oh,
I didn't
I think
care
we
what-
got some. Yeah.
Huh? I
think we got
know.
some.
And I didn't even care what it said inside, just so I could have it on my shelf.
And then we have the old and rare book sale, and then we have the arts and music sale too, but those are passed for this year. So be sure and see us in July because it's a lot of fun. And if you want to help set up, that's July 6th or July 3rd. So if you want to come and help set up, that's always a riot. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So anyway, anything else that anybody'd like to talk about? We have 5 whole minutes. Bruce, is there anything you'd like to add?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Well, you're so quiet today. All right.
What about magazines?
We have a box in the library that holds, you know, maybe that many. So we don't take a lot of magazines, but we will take some so we can fill that box and those are given out free. People can come in and get them free. So yeah, if you have magazines that are, you know, not completely outdated, that would be great. Sure. Yeah.
It's good for collage makers.
Yeah, definitely good for collage makers. Yeah. All right. Well, I like the dog. Okay. Lynn, did you have something?
Kiska.
And we take puzzles.
Oh, that's right. We take puzzles and CDs and DVDs.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And we sell them too.
Do you take 8-track?
Do we
Oh,
take track? No, I don't think we take 8-track. I don't think go quite back that far. Or do
well,
that.
I will tell you that take them and they sell them. The 8-tracks are a vintage item.
Yeah, very vintage. Well,
Yeah, we
and well, cassettes are coming back, so
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll be.
Well,
taking
records
cassettes.
are coming.
Records, yeah. We do take records too. We take
Really?
vinyl. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So, anything else? All right. Well, I think we're going to adjourn early today. So we adjourned a little late last month. So today we will adjourn a little early and average it all out. So thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you, Brian and Sandra, for coming in. And we will see you next month.
Thank you.
And
Thank
remember,
you.
no fireworks.